Japan, Japan, Japan. It's been on your travel list this whole time, right? Let's say you finally decided to go to Osaka this year. Well, I'm excited to share my honest reviews about those places that you probably bookmark on Instagram, plus some very useful insider tips to experience Osaka like a local, all based on my real footage from my trip in Osaka in March 25. So look, we all dream about that authentic experience where we blend in with locals rather than sticking out like a tourist, which we definitely are, but we don't want that. So let me take you through what's actually worth your time and money, where locals really eat, and how to make the most of your Osaka adventure. Let's be honest, this is definitely a tourist spot with markup prices, but there's a reason it is popular. The convenience of having so many vendors in one place is amazing if you want to try everything at once. It's bustling with energy and the variety of street foods and fresh seafood. It makes for a really fun experience. That said, my Japanese friend agreed with me that the pricing and the quality here are tailored for foreign tourists, and Japanese locals rarely visit Kuromon market themselves. If you really want an authentic market experience in Osaka, there are other better choices. But if you are in the mood to take photos, soak up that atmosphere, and just browse around, Kuromon is just fine. Just be aware that the food is pricey for what you get, and this is what we got during our trip to Kuromon, and it's not always the best quality. It was quite fun to do this first thing when I just checked in the hotel and it was still a bit early, so I left all my suitcase there and just headed to the market because it's so nearby. As I mentioned, if you want the real deal, head to Kizu Market or Sennichimae Street. These places are where you can score incredible deals and find the best seafood in Osaka. But you absolutely have to come early and bring cash. Most tourists are discovering these places now, but they are still relatively authentic. During my visit recently, I got this amazing haul for only 250 AUD, which would have cost me 3 to 4 times more at the restaurant. Even the rock melon alone would cost triple at a normal supermarket. There are eating areas outside, but I choose to bring everything back to my hotel, and then I buy rice from a convenience on the way back, heat it all up, and then we enjoyed a lavish breakfast in the hotel dining area. Seriously, felt like royalties. One of my favorite things to do was the shopping at train passageways and underground areas like Namba Walks. Oh my gosh, I found tons of good deals on clothes. For example, I got this skirts like this for so cheap. You will get the same design for much higher price the moment you go up a few levels into the mall. And they always have authentic, amazing food there. The prices are local friendly, super affordable, and there's just so much to look at. You will eat and shop like a true local here when you see their salaryman eating there. Just look out at how others do in places like this, because they will speak to you 100% in Japanese. Like when they ask you to wait outside or in line, ask you to come in, check your order, and call out your order when the food is ready. I also found this incredible matcha house in there with the best matcha latte, ice cream, and everything matcha flavor I ever tasted. I tried matcha at different stores all over Osaka and Kyoto and Tokyo as well, but nothing came close to this place. If you love matcha, you absolutely have to find this spot. It's also within the Namba Walks. You must seen this one everywhere on social media. I do enjoy coming here when I want to experience the energy of crowds and that feeling of disappearing into a sea of people. But I have to be honest, Dotonbori was kind of a letdown and felt like a tourist cash grab in many ways. There are overpriced shops selling things you could probably find on Temu for way less. The flashy lights and signs look very impressive at first glance, but they are masking an area that sometimes lacks real substance. That said, I did manage to find some unique clothes and decent quality items at a couple shops, though the prices were pretty high. So I'm not saying it's all bad, just not the incredible experience Instagram might have you believe. The truth is, there are tons of stores around, but I never got to see much of it because the energy kind of won you out. And I like to do the shopping in peace instead of having to keep moving around because there's just too many people coming in and out. And you know how it is when the space is small and there's just too many customers. So overall, it's not a really nice shopping experience and you couldn't really see much. Food-wise, many places seem designed to lure tourists rather than offer an authentic flavor. We did eat at all-you-can-eat hot pot place called Nico Nico Nabe, where the price were decent and the customer service was good. They had a huge variety and an easy ordering system that you can do on your phone, but I couldn't help noticing there wasn't a single Japanese person inside, so only foreigners, which says something about how locals view this area. So my advice, if you want a more authentic vibe, go somewhere else. Only come to Dotonbori for that hive energy, atmosphere, and the classic Osaka photos everyone expects to see in your travel album like this one. Skip this, the only good thing to see here is the tower. Most of the stores were closed during my visit. The area felt dirty and honestly, it is the only place in Osaka where I felt a bit unsafe. There were quite a few drunk people and homeless people around. It's much older and it's not very entertaining, so I would probably skip this unless you are really curious. This giant park with an amazing number of stores and fun activities was such a pleasant surprise. I highly recommend going to the 8th floor since it's open to the public and completely free. The view and scenery are spectacular. The whole building has this futuristic vibe that is really cool to experience. The stores are definitely on a more high-end side, but I found a lot of great gifts here because there's just so many like small stores that sell different type of gifts. A pro tip is to combine all of your receipts at the end of the shopping and do your tax refund all at once, which saves a ton of time. And if you are into sumo wrestling or just curious about this traditional Japanese sport, don't miss the sumo hall in Namba Park. You don't really need to book in advance. We just did walk in and asked for the best seat in the house, and it was rather easy to do. The show was fun and engaging, making sumo accessible to everyone, even if you don't speak Japanese. There are English explanations throughout, and it is so easy to follow. The staff are incredibly friendly and helpful, creating such a welcoming atmosphere. While it is more of a light-hearted, entertaining take on sumo rather than a strictly traditional showcase where you would actually see them like really fight tooth to nail, it still gives you a great insight into the sport. The interactive elements are hilarious, and the audience members got invited to wrestle the sumo performers. One thing to note is that it's a bit overpriced for what you get. The main show only lasts about 60 minutes, so plan another activity afterward. The Pokémon Center is located on the 13th floor of Daimaru Umeda, near Umeda Station. It is right beside Nintendo, Osaka, Capcom, Tomita, and other theme shops, so you can get all of your gaming merchandise shopping done in one place. There is a decent selection of plushies and Pokémon merch. This location isn't as large as other Pokémon centers. It gets extremely crowded, especially on weekends while we were there, so be prepared for that. The rest of Daimaru building is absolutely worth exploring. Each floor sells different types of products like skincare, household items, etc. And it was so much fun shopping around. Also, don't miss the market area on the lower floor. Like the ground floor, if I remember correctly, they sell these amazing 551 Horai buns that I'm literally craving right now. They are not your normal buns, they are a bit more chewy and so flavorful, so definitely grab some. This place has so much good food and amazing markets. I highly recommend shopping here because this is literally where locals shop. It's like a massive food court with tons of choices, cooked meals, bakeries items, sweets, gifts, and it's 100,000 times better than tourist spot with so much more variety. Also, if you see pressed butter sand shop like this one, grab some to bring home. They are the most delicious butter cookies I ever tasted, and it will be the same to you too. Trust me on this one. This is where I want to get really honest with you. Most of the restaurants I bookmarked from Instagram or saw hype online were just decent. Not bad, but not exceptionally good either, especially for the price. This includes various like sushi places, takoyaki stands, okonomiyaki restaurant, and yakisoba joints, which are really famous for Osaka food scene. You know, the ones with the long queues that make you think this must be amazing. One restaurant that truly stood out was this yakitori place that was always packed with locals. It was so popular mostly because it was so much cheaper than tourist spots or any other yakitori restaurant, or even but still offer high quality and generous portions. You order mostly in packs of 5 skewers each time, and the value is incredible. The place is called Akiyoshi Umeda shop, and you should definitely check it out if you want that authentic yakitori like the locals eat. I found that the best meals often came from places I stumbled upon while wandering around small alleys between train stations and my hotel. These unexpected discoveries frequently offer better quality at a much lower prices than the Instagram famous spots that everyone lines up for. The downside is that these hidden gems might not have English menus or English speaking staff, but the experience feels so much more authentic. And if you want to learn a few phrases to be confident when ordering in Japanese, leave a comment down below and I will arrange something. After all that walking and exploring, sometimes you need a peaceful break. Visiting a cat cafe was a perfect solution. And Neko Cafe Drag Door completely stole my heart. It's hidden in a small alley that feels like you're walking through somebody's neighborhood. This is hands down the best cat cafe I ever been to, and mind you, I've been to a lot. All the cats are incredibly friendly and unique, and they actually come to you rather than ignoring visitors like at some other places. The staff are also amazing. They understand the cat so well and can explain why the cat do certain things. They will carefully explain the rules and guide you through the whole experience, even if you don't speak Japanese. So as long as you are respectful and show genuine love for the animals, you will have the most wonderful experience. The price is surprisingly cheap for the time you spend and the quality of the experience. This place is truly a 10 out of 10. During my visit, it was just me, my sister, and the husband and wife owners, so it was really peaceful and personal. I almost didn't want to go to Kobe's Animal Kingdom, and that would have been such a big mistake. It turned out to be one of the most fun and thrilling experiences of my entire trip. From the moment I stepped inside, I was completely amazed. The zoo is divided into different sections, but what makes it so unique is that most of the animals are housed indoors, making it super easy to see them up close regardless of the weather. What really blew my mind was how many animals were roaming freely throughout the park, especially capybara. I've been dreaming to see them, and look at this. I was so happy to even be able to touch them. Smaller animals wander around the walkways, while larger ones like bears and tigers had their own spaces behind glass or in water enclosures. I was fascinated by how intelligent these animals were. It was quite cold during my visit and they were cleverly gathered around the heaters to stay warm. This was just so fun to look at that. The atmosphere was wonderful too. All the visitors were so respectful, keeping their distance and not touching or feeding the animals unless permitted. It felt like a perfect balance between a traditional zoo and a petting zoo with plenty of opportunity to interact with the animals in a safe and controlled environment. Despite some concerns that some of the larger animals seemed a bit restless in their relatively small enclosures, Animal Kingdom is absolutely worth a visit. The experience is so unique and immersive in a way I've never seen before. So if you're in Kobe or can make a day trip from Osaka, don't miss it. You might just have the time of your life like I did. We went to this well-reviewed restaurant for the full Kobe beef experience. We didn't have the reservation but luckily found a table. So for the 4 of us, the total came to around 1200 AUD. It's definitely not cheap. The experience felt somewhat rushed, which were a bit disappointing given the price. I'm not sure the atmosphere met my expectation for such a premium experience. They did explain different types of meat and perform the cooking show really well. I enjoyed watching their skills, but the portions weren't very generous, and while the beef was definitely good, it was the only standout item. Some cuts were actually a bit chewy, which surprised me for Kobe beef. The experience was just decent, I guess, not particularly special considering the price tag. I would say the chefs and staff did their best to make us feel welcome and were very attentive throughout the meal. If Kobe beef is on your bucket list, go for it. Just manage your expectations about the overall experience. And if you want to know the restaurant that I went to, just leave a comment down below. I made it my mission to try as many Kyugatsu restaurants as possible to compare prices, vibes, and meat quality. This one stood out from all the rest. I went at lunchtime and queued for 20 minutes. This is the only restaurant during my entire trip that I queued, just because the reviews are in the thousands and it was glowing reviews. Quick tip is to make sure to line up properly and wait for the waitress to call you in. And while queuing, the waitress will hand you the menu to choose your meal beforehand. Definitely remember to bring cash, and if you can eat a lot, I highly recommend ordering the double meat to 60-gram set menu because the meat was absolutely delicious. If you have time, definitely visit Nara Park. I went there a few years ago and it is such a serene escape from the city hustle. The free roaming deer absolutely stole the show. These gentle Sika deer bow politely for crackers, which you can easily get nearby for I think still 200 yen, and they are surprisingly tame. Feeding them felt so magical and created some of my favorite Japan memories. Now, a word of caution. You might have seen viral videos of deer attacking humans, but they are mostly very friendly if you treat them with respect. They might nudge you if you have crackers but aren't giving them any, which can be startling but is usually harmless. Please don't do silly stunt or try to hurt them for fun. Remember, you are in their home. The nearby temple is absolutely beautiful and makes for great photos. This is definitely a tourist-friendly place as plenty of staff speak some English, so communication isn't a big problem. If you're spending more than 4 to 5 days in Osaka, I definitely recommend taking a day to visit Nara. Overall, if you've bookmarked restaurants on Instagram, I suggest checking reviews carefully to see if they are worth the queue. Same go to shopping places and famous areas. Based on my experience, you can often find the same type of food at lesser known places or completely off the map spots while wandering around small alleys between station and your hotel. You'll be surprised to discover these hidden gems are much cheaper and sometimes even better quality. The only downside is there might not be English menus or English speaking staff. Spend time exploring street market, but also don't miss the food court in department stores like Daimaru or Takashimaya. They are absolute food havens. I love shopping there so much, and it's really give you that feeling like you truly shopping and living as a local. I wish I could review every restaurant individually, but my best advice is this: as long as you are respectful of the culture and local custom, the Japanese people will treat you with incredible warmth and kindness. I hope you learned something useful to prepare for your next trip to Osaka. And remember, the most authentic experiences often happen when you venture away from the tourist hotspots and embraces the unexpected. Your Osaka adventure is waiting, and trust me, it is going to be amazing. Take that first step, get off the beaten path, and create memories that are uniquely yours. See you in the next one, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. And if you have more questions about any particular path of Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, any other region, or just anything in general, leave a comment down below and I'll see you in the next one.